We would like to thank Carifit for sponsoring our first season of the Babywearing podcast. Carifit is not just a carrier, but a whole parenting support package. Get the carrier designed to help you and your baby bond and move together your way. Also, get access to the Carifit app, which includes postnatal support and baby wearing, core and pelvic floor, sleep, fitness, and so much more. Check out Carifit and all they offer at www.getcarifit.com. You can also use our code CoorieCarry for a discount when you buy.
Hello, and welcome to the Coorie and Carry On podcast. I'm Gemma.
And I'm Laurna, and we are trained carrying consultants.
Here to help you carry your baby safely. Thank you to our sponsor, Carifit, who are sponsoring this episode for us. So huge thanks to them as always. But today we have the fabulous Jenny from Hanababy here. She is their new owner, and we're very excited to hear all about what's going on with Hanababy and the history of it, everything. So, welcome, Jenny. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me on here.
So, Jenny, why don't you give us an introduction? Tell us a bit about yourself, what you do, and why you're here.
Absolutely. So I'm Jenny. I am the new proud owner of Hanababy UK. I took over the business in June, July of last year. I'm a mum to three boisterous boys. So two of them are nori spicy, so it's never a dull day. I home educate and baby wear most of the time. So yeah, that's sort of me in a nutshell. I want to say thank you, both of you, for having me on, and I'm very excited to be chatting with you.
Absolute pleasure to have you here.
Yes. So when did you take over Hanababy then?
Yeah, so I took over in June of last year. I think we sort of, by the time the handover had finished, it was then about July. But I'd worked with the previous owner, with Melissa, on a few different things and projects in the past. So I knew the company quite well. I really liked its values, its ethos, its products. I've worn all three of mine in wraps and carriers, in different brands, but definitely I think Hanababy had my heart. I just love the lightness of the wraps, and that was a really big thing for me, is sort of how they were made and the material that they were made from. And then it's only with my third baby, little Kit, who's now 19 months old, that's when I first got to try out the expand. So yeah.
So for people who don't know about Hanababy, you've got two options that you offer. So what are they?
Yeah, so I'd say what we're best known for is our Hanababy wraps. They are organic bamboo wraps. And when Melissa was sort of designing the products way back in, so the business sort of started in the early sort of 2011, 2012, when she had her own daughter. She was living in London at the time, and sort of the wraps that were available to her were sort of single stretch, so like one-way stretchies, and they were quite heavy fabric. And of course, if you've been in London in the summer, you'll know that or any city, and increasingly, obviously, with global warming, we're just getting warmer and warmer. So she really wanted something that was lightweight, that was breathable, and she took it upon herself to kind of bring that forth into the universe and create Hanababy. We are also known for our new expand carrier, but I'll probably get into that a little bit later if that's okay with you. But yeah, the sort of coming about of Hanababy and and the creation of the bamboo wrap. So Melissa basically, like I said, she wanted something that was lightweight, that was breathable, but that also was really, really soft and felt really secure. So she decided on bamboo mainly for its properties. So bamboo, because of obviously it's a natural fiber, it tends to be more breathable and more lightweight than other fabrics. It's got sort of the fibers of bamboo, they're naturally like hollower and thinner than other ones, so it allows airflow. It's also sort of moisture wicking as well. So again, in those sort of hot scenarios, it's a really nice fabric. When you're a sweaty mess, when you've got, maybe a little bundle that's, a summer born, you definitely sort of want those properties in a sling. But what's great about bamboo and what I sort of love is that it's thermoregulating. So obviously we know with newborns, they can't control their temperature by themselves. It's very easy for little ones to overheat. It's also very easy for little ones to just get really, really cold. And yeah, the sort of the balance in temperature and the thermoregulation that bamboo have, it just blows my mind still that, one fabric can sort of do so much. Magic, yeah, absolutely magic. So what basically, for those that don't know, thermoregulation. So if you are warm, then your body will go through a natural process of thermoregulation. So you'll tend to perspire and sweat. You'll get clammy and things like that, and that's just your skin releasing moisture to cool you down. And then obviously vice versa, if you're cold, it will warm you up and things like that. And the bamboo fabric acts exactly in the same way. So when it's colder outside, that because the fibers are narrower, they allow the air to then sort of get trapped in between and act as like an insulating layer. So it's great in autumn, in winter, when you want that heat, it can do that for you. But then in summer, when you want to be cooler, it has that effect as well. And
it's a great option for all year round, no matter when baby was born or when you're using it.
It really, really is. And I think, I know there's other wraps on the market. But the fact that this one, I don't like the word sort of one and done and does everything you need, because I think baby wearing is a very individual practice and not one wrap suits all. But I think the Hanababy definitely has you supported for all seasons. Whether you've got a spring baby, summer baby, autumn baby, winter baby, like it can do so much with it being one product. So we've talked about all the thermoregulation magic that it does, but it's also it's got a natural UV filter. So bamboo has this natural property. It doesn't sort of replace sun hats and sun cream, so please don't go
Still need all
without
that.
those. Yeah, but it can offer you that protection from the sun. It has that natural sort of UV filter on it, and it's also naturally antibacterial and hypoallergenic. So when you think of newborns, especially me, I was like a total germaphobe. My last baby was a September baby, of course, when all those germs and all those back to school things are flying around. And just to know that, I could be out in the shopping centre or, doing what I need to do, and actually there's that little added layer of protection for my baby and keeping just those germs at bay it's just an all-round amazing product.
And also when you are carrying baby as well, they are more away from the germs because they're held up close to you rather than being in a pram or buggy and pushed low and people are touching and
away
dropping
from
things.
all the car fumes and little old ladies sort of peering in the pram and things like that. So you can keep people
Have a penny.
at bay a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. So it's, for me, yeah, it just does so much with being such a simple product. And yeah, I really want people to know more about it. It's not just a pretty color, and it's not just super soft, and it's not just like that it's a two-way stretchy. Like, all those are great properties, but the bamboo element of it just does so much more than I think people realize. So yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I think it's really reasonably priced as well. You're sort of 42, I think, for your standard carrier, and then just
Yeah.
under 50 for the organic version.
Yeah. So that's a big thing for me, that I try to keep the costs as low as I can to the consumer. Like, we are not a big company. Like, I know one of your previous previous brands have been quite big brands, and they said about being sat around the dining room table running a company, but I literally am sat around the dining room table
Yes.
running a company between, nappy changes and maths work and all of those great things. But it's really important for me that I run the business, well, and all of those things, but also that it's relatable. Like, I think big companies sometimes miss the important things. Some companies are really difficult to get a hold of, or the information's not there. And I really want Hanababy to be like, if you're stuck there in the middle of the night, I mean, I can't promise that I'll be awake, but as soon as I see a message on my phone, I very well could be. And obviously at the moment I'm like an hour ahead, so I'm definitely up before everybody. But yeah, I just want the company to be as relatable and to meet the needs of our consumers like as much as we can. I think what I'm really striving for at the minute is to give everything I can to those people that choose to invest in our products. So I want to be there to support you. I want to be there holding your hand. I want to be there answering any questions you have. In my previous role, for many that don't know, I was a newborn photographer, and had my own studio and all of that lovely stuff. And I definitely found that anybody that works with newborns, with new parents, you're not just there as a baby wearing consultant. You sort of troubleshoot for them in other areas. So I'd have parents come in and they might be struggling with their latch. I did them my latch on peer support breastfeeding training, so that I was able to help with that. I had one mum who sort of confessed to me like she didn't know how to put a nappy on, and so I took just 10 minutes out of the time that I had with them, and I just gave them tips and advice. And I think anybody that works with families, with parents, you just naturally do that. So yeah, I think I want Hanababy to be known as a really supportive brand, that we respond to you, we're there for you when you need us, and we are here all of the time. Maybe not in the middle of the night, but yeah.
I think it helps
Not all the
as
time,
well.
not 24/7.
No, nobody can do that. We're not Amazon.
No,
but I think
definitely not Amazon.
I think it's nice as well, because you are obviously your youngest, you are actively carrying, so you are using your products every day, which is allowing people to see that you're not just like, oh, buy my thing, it's the best thing.
Yeah.
You're actually using them and showing them in action, rather than just there to sell a product, which is really nice. And I think a lot of that comes across on all of your posts as well. If you're listening and you're not already following Hanababy on socials, go drop them a wee follow as well. But yeah, it's really nice to see, and obviously where you live is beautiful, so you get to see and explore lots of nice things as well, and showing how carrying can help you get around day to day when you have other children to run about with as well.
Oh, absolutely. Like, just being in the cities and being on, obviously they call them metros over here, but tubes and buses and everything. I really could not fathom doing that with a pram. I mean, even
No.
when we've gone to, big theme parks like Disneyland, like seeing people struggle around the parks with a pram. I mean, I've been in the queue for Buzz Lightyear with my carrier, being able to give the baby a full breastfeed and not having to lose our place in the queue, sort of thing. Being able to stay out for the fireworks that the older kids wanted to do. So I think, it is really important for me to show just how easy and just how beneficial our products are. I definitely like that sort of community element of business. I love supporting all of the baby wearing consultants and the sling libraries. Yeah, just community over sort of business. I think business is important, and my business partner will be more bottom line and spreadsheets and all of those sort of things. But I definitely want to create this sense of community and this sense of just the baby wearing magic, I think. If I could give one parent that gift of just that aha moment when everything clicks, when everything they've been learning clicks, when their baby instantly, gets into the sling and just calms down and goes to sleep, and you just have that sort of wave of, oh, I get this now. I get why people dedicate their lives to it. I get why people are so passionate about it and why they educate.
Why it takes over. It takes over your life.
Why it takes, absolutely. When that moment happens for a parent, like if I could just bottle that and sell that.
We'd be millionaires. It'd be amazing. That feeling.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, have a wee drop of this. It's just so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've got, for your stretchy wraps, it's not just the one stretchy wrap you offer. There's two different types, isn't there? So what are the two different types? Oh, obviously not the bamboo and the organic, but the sizes.
The sizes, yes. So we do a standard length size, which we sort of say will fit everybody. So, if you and your partner are both very sort of different heights, girths, widths. I don't know how the technical PC
Girth,
term
I love
is to
that.
say to that.
Are you more girthy?
You're more girthy. You're carrying a little bit extra. So our standard length is, I have it written down, I've been prepared. So our standard length is 4.8. So it's for anybody, and I suppose people listening to this, if you've never seen the Hanababy wrap before, it's one big piece of fabric. And that big piece of fabric in our standard is 4.8 meters. There have been a few different sizes. So if you, maybe you've been gifted like a second-hand one, you might find that size is different, because there was a period where we did a 4.5. But we will, going forward, be going back to the full 4.8, just so it fits a range of body types. So that's that length, and then we do a short size, which is 4. I think that one is going to be 4.2. We're going through this with a manufacturer at the minute, and that will sort of fit more petite people. So we sort of say up to a UK 14 it will fit comfortably. So obviously if you are that smaller body, you are on the shorter side, wraps can be a little bit daunting because it's a lot of fabric. And if you are on that smaller side and you get one of the bigger ones, you find that you're just wrapping it around your waist constantly. And obviously with
round and round and round.
round and round and round, and the main sort of reason we chose the bamboo fabric was to keep it light, to keep it airy, to keep it breathable. So we really want everybody to experience that. And obviously if you've got to wrap a lot of fabric around you, you can sort of then lose that sort of feeling of the weightlessness and things like that. So those are our two lengths. And then with our fabric, we have the Hanababy organic range, and that is it's got 68% bamboo versus our standard range, which is 48%. So they're both organic. They're both OTEX approved, and they're both, like, our manufacturer is GOTS approved. So GOTS will like organic fabric. So they're still all the same sort of fabric. It's just the blend is slightly different. The standard one is our cheaper, like more budget friendly range, and then our organic obviously is that little bit more expensive. But they both have all those amazing qualities that I've spoke about before. They are both still breathable, and they're both both still organic as well.
And they're both two-way stretches as well.
Yeah.
Both two-way stretches. Yeah. So we and again, that was one of the reasons that Hanababy came about, is because Melissa sort of found the one-way stretch just not adaptable enough for her. So with the two-way stretchy, we always say sort of put it on and it be swimsuit tight, because then that extra layer of stretch will stretch to baby. And what we found with the two-way stretch is that, not that babies prefer it, but it allows that closeness and that tightness that they crave for. We sort of say that we help transition baby from room to world, because we create that feeling for baby of being close to their parent, their caregiver. They can smell your smell, they can hear your heartbeat, but also then they're sort of enveloped in the wrap, which gives them that little pressure on their bodies that they sort of crave, really crave for in those first few months. So that was one of the reasons she went with a two-way stretch as well.
Yeah, I mean, our preference is always a two-way stretchy. The one-ways have their uses, but for the general sort of, if you ask me about a stretch, I'm going to tell you to go for a two-way, and preferably something with bamboo, because it's so nice on a newborn. And certainly,
it's more user-friendly as well.
Oh yeah, it's easier.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's easier. There's less room for error. But I think it's interesting to hear you talk about the shorter length, because it's something that we notice a lot, is that the discussions centered around size in the baby wearing community typically tend toward the larger end of the spectrum, where we talk about carriers not being big enough for certain body frames. It is just as much a problem for our slender families as well. Certainly, again, I've got a friend, and she's got some issues. She's very, very, very thin as a result of that, and she struggles to get any kind of buckle carrier, because the waist just is simply always too big for the padding, and the waist is always too big for her. And as a reason, she typically uses woven wraps. So it's interesting to hear you talk about a shorter length to support our sort of more slender people, so they aren't completely swaddled in fabric themselves. I think that's wonderful. I would point out to anybody listening that the standard length does not mean that it will not support a larger frame. The standard lengths of stretchy wraps are very long. I have never seen anyone too big for a stretchy wrap. So if you are a fabulous
just
size
tie
26
it in different
person,
places.
if you're a fabulous person who's a size 26, size 28, and you're thinking, well, the standard length won't work for me, absolute lies. It will work for you. We can make that happen. And certainly with two-way stretches, like Jenny's saying, they have so much stretch that you really can get them swimsuit tight and nice and snug and still fit your baby in. So yeah, I think it's great to hear you doing something for our sort of more petite families. I think that's wonderful.
And inclusivity is a really big thing. I'm on the larger side of life, and I have no problem with the wrap or with the carrier. I was discussing this with Kimmy, one of the other Slings libraries. I measured all our carrier for her just to make sure that she was happy with it before she went ahead and ordered it. And inclusivity is a really, really big thing for me. I want to make sure that our products are absolutely accessible for every body type and every situation and scenario. So
that's a thing as well, that inclusivity, a lot of people think it just means supporting bigger, but you want both ends of the scale. So a lot of things will say they're inclusive, they fit up to a size 22, 26, 28, but then they won't fit like a size 6 or a size 8. So it's nice having both ends of the scale on a product as well.
Absolutely.
And And we know Kimmy well, and we know that she does a lot of work to support inclusivity for larger bodies. So I'm delighted to hear you've been working with her to make sure your
absolutely love
products
her
work.
videos. I really it's great that that is advocated for, but like you say, it's absolutely still vital that we can cater for both ends of the spectrum. So
Absolutely, it's wonderful. So how about you tell us a little bit about the Expand now, because we've talked about our stretchy wraps and we love a stretchy wrap. However, they
Can't beat
last
a
about
stretchy.
6 months. So let's talk about your buckle. Tell us all about it.
yes,
We have got the move on option.
we have well, you say move on option, it can be used from birth. So I know dads very much tend to
We love a buckle.
prefer buckle
Can't beat it.
carriers, something that's simple. I was very lucky with my partner, and he was all on board with the wraps. I've got photos of him even wearing our babies still while we were on hospital wards. So, but yes, we brought out the Expand. We brought out the version 1 in 2016, so it has been around a little while. We're now on the version 2 after some design tweaks. The Hanababy Expand really sort of came about because we wanted something that, yes, you could move on from your Hana stretchy wrap when, obviously baby reaches that point in weight. The maximum weight for the wrap is 9 kilograms, which for the UK is 19 pounds, 13 ounces. But could be used from birth. If wraps aren't your thing, then this carrier is a true from birth. I know there are lots of popular TikTok carriers at the moment pretending to
This
be
comes up a lot, doesn't it?
be from birth, but actually they're not. They really are not, and you can really obviously do a little bit of damage. Well, not too much damage, but they're just not suitable. So we really wanted a product that they could be used from birth safely, that they, it was sort of designed for newborns. I know carriers at every stage have to have so many features just for that age and stage, which is great. And I love all of those different carriers. I've used many in the past, but for again, thinking about the pupil's purse and for not having mass sort of consumerism, I'm really, I'm not an Amazon fan. The wraps and the carriers will now not be sold on Amazon at all. Please don't go there and look for us. That's not what we're about. We wanted a product that could be versatile over a wider age range and support babies from those newborn days right the way through to toddlerhood. And so the design of the Expand is all about a sliding mechanism. So you can take the Expand from its smallest size, which is 17 centimeters at the base. So you would adjust it right the way down to 17 centimeters at the base. And then we have adjustments for the back panel as well. So the back panel can come right down and obviously support baby when they're much smaller. So it can go down to 24 centimeters on the back panel. And then as your baby grows, you literally just slide it out a little bit more, like a millimeter at a time if you wanted to. It really does grow with your baby. So, you don't need a newborn carrier. You don't need then, a carrier that's going to last from sort of 8 months to, 1.5. And then you don't need it to go into toddlerhood with you. It literally will grow with you. So when it gets to its biggest point is 45 centimeters on the base. So that sort of Kit's not quite there yet. He's still got a little bit of way to go to that, but I want to say that it will fit you, way into your sort of 2-year-old sort of range.
Okay.
So 45 centimeters at the base, and then it can go to 40 centimeters on the back with the back panel as well. So it really is a versatile carrier. It can fit your newborn. In terms of weight, it can be about 7 pounds, which I think the last time I checked was like the average weight of a newborn in the UK. So yes, the 3.2 kilograms, which is £7, and then can go right the way up to 20 kilograms, which is 44. And yeah, again, it's organic cotton. It's all got its accreditations, its OTEX and everything like that. And I love it. I use it every single day. I use it on my front. I use it in my back. I've been able to breastfeed in it. It's yeah. Again, I don't like the all singing, all dancing. You know, it does everything, but it's definitely a product that has got your back for multiple scenarios. Yeah, and that's why I love it.
Yeah, no, it's the Hanababy Expand is a very, very nice carrier. And it has quite a lot of sliders down the bottom. I think it's on 3 tracks, is that correct?
On the bottom it's 2, and you've sort of got the bottom one has 1 point, and then the top rail has got 2 points. So again, when you're sort of thinking about knee pit to knee pit, it can really, we wanted it to be really comfortable for babies.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can really sort of get that fine adjustment in that top rail to make sure that they've got that lovely seated position. They've got that lovely sort of shape. All of our carriers are ergonomically designed to support babies' hips. So yes, you've just got that little bit extra in that top rail. And then again, where your back panel is, which will be your coloured bit, that's on sliders as well. So that can obviously grow and change and offer as much support as you need.
So you also have, so as well as your panel height, then you've got this wee extra bit as well, that in most carriers this would be a flap or a hood, but it's like an extra wee expandable bit at the top. So is that, when you were talking about the total height, does that include that extra bit as well?
So you can change the height in 2. So you've got my mind's totally gone blank. We've got an adjustable, it's not a buckle, it's a
Ladder,
is that
ratchet.
word?
Ladder strap.
Yeah, is it a ratchet?
Ladder,
strap.
Yeah, I say
Yeah.
ratchet, you say ladder straps.
We have a, it's not a buckle, so yeah, I can't call it a buckle, can I? We have a ratchet strap that can be adjusted. So that's sort of the main fabric, which will either be the navy or the grey. So that you can then tighten to bring the body down. And then we also have the coloured panel, which could be blue or yellow or black. And that's the bit that's on the sliders. So again, you've got those 2 adjustments in the height. We also do have a hood that comes with it. So not to mix up that back panel with the hood. It's not to go over baby's head. That's for making sure that that carrier is sitting right at the back of baby's neck and giving full support to baby's sort of head, spine, back, and all those good things. The hood is there. The hood can fully come off. You can pop it in your pocket. We tend to lose ours quite a lot. So
we talked about this earlier, about just having a box of hoods and clips,
just having a box
extra
of hoods.
bits.
Yeah,
just take them off.
I'm looking at being able to sort of, like, if you have lost yours, like we have, to have replacements on the website. So hopefully they will be up there in the next few months. But yeah, so the hood can fully come off. It can be put on and then obviously clipped to one side if baby does fall asleep in the carrier.
Perfect. I think the Hana Expand, like you say, it's not a well-known carrier, which is a shame because it is truly a carrier that does expand to, I mean, it's in the name, but it does grow with your child. So it is one that if you are looking for a carrier that will grow and will be very adjustable, the Expand is a good option. And it's a very budget-friendly option too. It's only 120. So again, we're seeing the same values that you were talking about earlier about making this a sustainable and accessible brand for your clients. And certainly it's not one that I've seen talked about a lot, which is a shame because it is a lovely carrier.
It is, yeah. I really would like to give it definitely more airtime, definitely more airspace. I've literally gone through the country. We had a little bit of a project for the website, because we wanted to let people know where they could go to their local sling libraries, they could find their local consultants that had Hanababy products. So, you know, I'm definitely a touchy-feely sort of person.
Yeah.
And I really like to see things before I go and buy them online. Obviously, we haven't got a shop, we haven't got a storefront, we are an online-based company. But I wanted people, if they found themselves on the website, they were a little bit unsure, they could click on, they now can click on this map and they can find their local sling library or baby wearing consultant. We even have some resellers up and down the country as well, but you can go along to there, you can ask for either of the products. I've listed which places have which products as well. But in doing that, it was great because I got to connect with so many different sling libraries and consultants up and down, and just sort of say, I'm here, this is me, if you need anything, let me know. So a lot of Hanababy expands went out to a few places that didn't have them. I know now Laurna's got one. And yeah, I'm trying to get them out there a little bit more. I'm trying to get them more accessible to people, just, that they can hire them, they can see the benefits of it and the comfiness of it. Like I say, I have worn other brands before. I had a brand beginning with T with my middle one and a brand beginning with E with my eldest one, both beautiful carriers, but they just didn't do what the expand does. And it really, I mean, I know I own the company, but it really won me over with just how
But then if you didn't like
versatile
the brand and you didn't like the carrier, you wouldn't have bought the company.
Yeah.
Probably.
There is that.
So you have to like it. You wouldn't have just bought it for the sake of it. You have to actually like it and use it yourself. So
I
and
was definitely invested. It definitely won me over.
So if you are
I think I
listening
fell in
along,
love with the products before I fell in love with the brand. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And that's kind of most things. You want to like the product, and then you learn more about them, and then learn about the brand. And if all of those things click, then it goes together and it's really good. Because I've had things before where I've liked the product, but the brand's maybe been a bit iffy, and I'm like, well, that's maybe gone a bit lower on my kind of mental kind of list. But then when it's all cohesive and it all kind of goes together. But yeah, it's really nice to have a brand and a product that is equally just as good as each other, because we've seen that, and we see it all the time with brands, that the product is really good but the brand's not quite there, or it's a really great brand but your product's not quite up to scratch yet. And it's nice that brands want to work with consultants, so that's a big thing as well. Like if you're actually actively reaching out and wanting our feedback and our support and working with us, which is a huge green flag for us as consultants. Like, yes, this brand is doing what we want.
Yeah,
they're
like
listening to us.
The community element of business for me is what drives me. Like, sales and all of that is important, but the community element of it is key for me. To go back to the expand as well, the expand was actually designed with baby wearing consultants. They were part of the design process as well.
Perfect.
So just for that little added tick for the expand there. I'm all about collaboration. I'm all about community. I want to support as many small UK business brands that I can. That's what I thrive on. I don't want the moon. I don't want the millions in the bank. It'd be lovely, but that's not what my goal is.
A bonus.
Baby. It would be a bonus. It would be a nice offshoot. It would be, but my energy, my focus, and my passion is about
and that
creating
again,
really
it shows. And like we can, like, even just talking to you now, you can hear your love and your passion for it, and you're focused on the safety and the community rather than the sales. And obviously with a lot of brands it's the other way around, and we see that on social media and stuff, that they're just there for the sales, they don't care about the safety. And it's nice to have a brand that cares all about, obviously you want the sales as well, because obviously you wouldn't be a very good businesswoman if you didn't care
No.
about the sales, but
Yeah.
it's not a priority. Everything else
It's
is a
not, no.
priority, and that's just comes with it if you've got
Yeah.
a good product and a good brand. So yeah, it's nice
Yeah.
to have it all together.
Yeah. The values are what sell your product.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I think it's one of these horrible things about being in business is that you do have to sell things in order to keep the business afloat. Wouldn't it be lovely if you could just give them away? You know what I mean? It would be so
Yeah.
nice. However, your bills don't allow that.
No.
Yeah.
You
No.
know, unfortunately, you do have to sell them. So, I think though, when people hear, like Lorna's saying, that you value the community element, certainly as consultants, we've worked with brands that don't want anything to do with consultants, and as a result, we just we don't promote their products because
Yeah.
we can't. We simply don't have them sometimes, so we can't show them to clients. Other times we go, well, actually, they are promoting unsafe baby wearing on their social media, and we can't support that as a company. Not because we want to, be the sling police, but because it's super important that
Yeah.
when people have social media and that they put things out in the public eye, that they are held accountable for it. And I mean, Lorna and I have had that too in the past. People have reached out and said, Dad, we don't think that your social media is accurate, and we've had to reflect on that and make changes. It's rough, but unfortunately, it's the name of the game,
It's
isn't
a
it?
huge learning curve. At the end of the day, I'm a parent and I'm a baby wearing consumer. And I mean, drastically from having my eldest who's now 13 to my youngest who's now 19 months, the safety element, and there's new findings all the time. There's new science that we're discovering all the time. From when I wore my eldest to now has drastically changed. I've
It
been
will have, yeah.
evolving as a mother, but the best conduct or the best practices have evolved. And I really want Hanababy to be on the pulse of all the new sort of guidance and safety. I really want us not to excel, but just to be as squeaky 100% clean and safe as we can. And I value the knowledge that comes from consultants and sling libraries, because
And you're
you get
also
to see
really,
such a
yeah,
range.
you're also really good at taking that feedback and accepting it. Like, I mean, we've had discussions a few times about how something that you might see as lovely, but you have to think of it as Joe Blogs who's just bought a carrier and sees a
Absolutely.
picture. Yeah, it's very much people will copy what they see. So if it's not quite right in a picture, but the angle for the parent is right, and that doesn't matter. It's how it looks on that
How
picture.
it looks.
And
Yeah.
you've been amazing at taking that feedback and taking it on board and asking for advice and support. So it's really nice to have a brand that does that, rather than just be like, no, that picture or that video has got millions of views, we're leaving it up because it's selling. It's like, no. And that has happened. We have reached out to brands and been like, by the way, this video is very unsafe and very dangerous. Please remove it. They're like, oh, we've taken your concerns on board and thanks for that, but we're staying up. And it's like, okay, so you're now on the blacklist.
A choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've
Goodbye.
really tried to put myself in that new, I have recently been that new mum, but I'm trying to make sure all our literature, all our instructions, all our website is a sort of user-friendly and not basic, but as simple to follow as we possibly can. If you bought any of the Hanababy products in the past, the instructions aren't where I want them to be at the moment. They are currently being redone. I want it sort of available for every learning style. So have it written, have it in picture form, but also have videos, and to have like little quick bite size. This is what it shouldn't look like, and this is what it should look like. I'm a very visual learner. My children are very hands-on learners, and I really want our information, our instructions, and our safety recommendations. And they're not just mine, but they're industry standard. I want them to be really accessible for our parents, for the people that choose to buy Hanababy.
And I'm excited because we've got some stuff coming up, haven't we? When I'm better. It's taking a bit of a detour at the minute, but it's coming.
Yes, there's lots in the pipe work, and like I say, I just want to be that person holding our Hanababy parents' hand and saying, anything you need, anything, and I will deliver it. If you need instructions for a way that you can, that you can learn, I will create those for you. If you want a space of the internet that you can contact me morning, noon, and night, I will create that for you. I will find you the experts. If you have a question and I don't know it, I am going to find it for you, and I am going to deliver it in a way that you need it to. What's been great and what's been really fun over the sort of past month is we've had like quizzes on our Instagram stories.
It's been fun, yeah.
It has been fun, and it's been educational for me to really see where people are at. So it's I'm not the teacher at the end of the day marking it, but if people have thought something was safe when it's actually not, I really hope that it's helped those parents go, oh, actually, well, I did think that was okay, but actually it's not. And I've then delivered that reason to why it's not, and it's not best practice. And they've been really good, and they've been really eye-opening for me to see where people's knowledge base was at. And again, like you said, it's that perspective of Joe Blogs, of that new mum, of that person that actually maybe hasn't ever baby weared before, maybe hasn't got that community around them, maybe hasn't got a sling library that's local. I really want to be able to give them that support. And I think if anybody takes away from this podcast, we have great products. We're very organic. We're very small business and not big corporation. Very passionate, but also I want to support you in your parenting journey. And I did that in my previous roles, and I'm going to do that in this role as well.
Amazing.
I think that's the thing that really comes across, is that you are wanting to put that support in place, that you are very aware of the vulnerable point in life that your clientele are in, and that you are focused on their well-being rather than your bottom line. And I think that's what comes across here. And I think it's something that would make me as a consumer want to look at your products. So hopefully it comes across well to people listening. And again, like I say, very reasonably priced products, lovely owner.
Yes.
So hopefully we will we'll start seeing more Hanababies out in the wild. That would be lovely to see.
That would definitely be lovely.
If you are listening to this and you want to try one, I have the standard size, the shorter size stretchy, and the expand as well, all available for postal hire, covering the UK as well, if you want to try one. Or if your local library doesn't have one, then feel free to get in touch. So we have some questions. A lot of them we have answered, which is always a good. So what's the difference between the stretchy wraps and the blend quality and the sizes? Can you use the wrap from newborn? Yes, suitable for newborn. Is it good for summer?
It's suitable for newborn,
yes.
And actually it's suitable for smaller babies. So the wrap, sorry, totally
no,
interrupted you there. But the wrap, it goes from 2.5 kilograms, which for the UK is £5 8 ounces. So we do have NICUs across the country that also use them with kangaroo care and use them with premature babies. What I will say is, if you do have a lower birth weight baby, please get advice. Please see either a specialist, a baby wearing consultant, or somebody who's been trained with premature baby wearing. Our slings are great because they are at that lower weight point, but please seek advice before using them.
And we always say that as well. If you have a lower weight baby, then you need to have support, because how the wrap will be used for a lower weight baby is going to be different than how you would use it for a full term bigger baby. So changes the use and there's more considerations. But it's really nice to know that that is an option that has been tested to a lower weight as well, because not all of them have, which is nice. So here's a good question. Do I need to learn special knots to tie it? You need to take a rope course.
No, and actually we got I got this question on social media this week, is that a parent would love to see all the different ways that you can tie the Hanababy wrap. And what I'm going to say as a manufacturer is you can tie it in many different ways, but actually the way that your instructions will say and the way that the information that I'm putting out at the minute is actually, it's really simple. It's you find your logo, you find your midpoint, you put that on your, I say belly button, but obviously it's just below your rib cage, just below your diaphragm. You get your shoulder straps, you put those over, you tuck those in, you get all your slack off, you pull that all through, and then you're gonna cross it at the front, you're gonna cross it at the back, and then you're going to just tie a simple double knot, and that's as simple as it is.
If you can tie your laces, you can tie a wrap. That's what I usually say. There's no fancy. You could do a wreath knot. You could do these fancy knots, but it's probably going to be harder to get it off afterwards if you do a fancy knot.
And actually, when you are taking it off, you want the simpler knot, because if you're taking it off with a baby in your hand and you're having to do it one-handed, you want the simpler knots, not the fancy knots. A point to sort of mention is it doesn't matter if you tie it on your back, and it doesn't matter if you tie it on your front. It's what you're comfortable with. If you're, if you're planning to, you've fed baby, you've changed baby, you know that they're going to sleep, you might want to walk around until they sleep, and then actually you might want to just chill out with a good book on a comfy sofa. You might want to tie the wrap at the front so that you don't have the knot at the back. If you know that you're going to need to be having baby in and out of the carrier all day, you may want it at the front, just so you can then, when you have, maybe you've taken baby out, maybe you've given them a feed, you've given them a change, you've put them back in, you want to retighten it, it might then be handy to have that knot on the front. That's probably something I should have mentioned, is that the wrap is designed to be worn like all day. If you wanted to get up, get dressed, put it on, and then have baby in and out all day.
Every time, which
you don't have to take. No, it's not a t-shirt, but it can be sort of. I mean, I confess that I have worn nothing under my wrap and just had the wrap and my baby on. And answered the door to the postman like that, and gone about my day in just my wrap. So,
nobody will know.
Nobody will know. Absolutely not. No, you will have full coverage, and it will be like you are wearing just another layer. So, yeah.
So this question is good because on our last episode, we talked about forward facing. So someone has asked, can you forward face in the Hana expand carrier? And no, you cannot, because
no, you cannot.
Do you want to explain why?
It just wasn't designed that way. So yes, we have that adjustable base, but it doesn't have that support at the base for forward facing. I don't know, they'll probably come for me in the comment section, but I'm not a fan of world facing.
You're allowed your opinion. We have ours, you're allowed ours. Yours.
Yeah. Baby can see perfectly well from facing you. But also it's not just about them forward facing and seeing out. When the baby is facing you, you are more in touch with their needs. I'm a big attachment parenter, if you haven't already sort of gathered from from the hour that we've almost got to. But I'm a very intuitive parent, and that's what baby wearing gives me as well, is that I'm in touch with their needs all of the time. And I just feel when babies world face that you don't know when they've fallen asleep. You don't know if they've swallowed a fly. Like it's just a bizarre concept. But yeah. Our Hanababy X-Band was not designed to be world facing, and as far as I know and as far as I want to, it won't be world facing in the future. You can wear it on your front with the baby facing you. You can wear it on the back with obviously your baby facing your back, and they will be able to see everything. I mean, if we've been in Disneyland and there's been a parade, I just turn to the side and then both me and my baby can see. My baby doesn't need
Yeah.
to face
Arms out the
the
top, having a
world.
look around, nice and safe. Perfect.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And if you are listening to this and you do have questions about word facing, pop back to our previous episode where we talk about all about that and the do's and don'ts and all the information based. So we have
But yes, the Hana.
lots of questions, but we have covered all of them, which is awesome.
I was going to say the Hanababy though does have that cross back, which allows the hip carry as well, doesn't it?
Yes.
So
Yeah, we've totally like missed that. So the other great thing is that it can be H and cross-strapped. You don't need any fancy extras for that either. It does it all for you. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to let Gemma answer that question because
Gemma loves a hip carry.
I love a hip carry. It's genuinely my favorite way to carry. But yeah, so we talked about this in our world facing episode. We talked about how certain buckle carriers can offer a hip carry, and the Hana Expand is one of them. So again, we can pop a video up at some point on the socials about how to go from a cross backed centered position to a hip carry. But with the Hana Expand, it will do both straight straps and cross straps. Sometimes we call it an H, sometimes we call it straight straps, to a cross, which looks like a big X on your back. Having it in an X position will allow you to loosen one strap, drop it off a shoulder, burl your baby onto your hip, and then tighten it back up. They can see forward, you can see forward, and everybody is happy. And there are no limitations on that carry. So the Hanababy, and because the padding on the Hanababy is also quite limited, which does not mean it's uncomfortable, it means it is not bulky. Because the padding isn't hugely bulky, you're not going to find that it's like sore under your armpit or anything if you're in a hip carry position. So you are going to get that comfortable feeling and allow a sort of more world facing position, even though it is not officially a world facing position.
Yes.
Yeah, it does so much. I honestly forget half of the stuff that it does.
Well, there we go. That's your content sorted for the weekend. Go do some hip carries.
Exactly. Hip carries, X straps, H straps. Yeah, it does so much, and that's what I really wanted for the product, is that they're just so versatile. They can do so much without you having to lend lots of money.
Awesome. And if you have been listening along and now you love Hanababy just as much as all of us, you can pop on and grab a discount. We will pop the code in the show notes so you can get a wee discount, and we get a wee nice kickback sometimes too, which is quite nice and lovely.
And
again, another great thing from brands that do for us. So we're supporting you and we're getting supported at the same time, which is awesome. So thank you so much, Jenny, for joining us and chatting all things slings and carriers, and it's been fantastic. Do you have anything else to say, or are you all good?
I think I'm all good. I think if I ramble anymore, then you're in danger of me like just not stop talking. I still
it's very hard for us to keep this
episode. I wanted to. But I will just ramble on and talk about like all the lovely feel good stuff rather than all the businessy stuff, because
I know it's very hard for us to kind of keep episodes within a certain time frame because we could just talk for hours, but we've all done well with children and husbands running around.
absolutely and full moon madness. So
yes,
we've done well.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and we will chat soon.
Lovely to speak to you. Bye.
Bye.